What's up, y'all? Welcome to another review by Ryan. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, August 9th, and I hope y'all are having a wonderful week wherever you're at in the world. Before I start this reaction, again, a big thank you for your patience. This is the first reaction post-Otakuthon, and from the looks of it, I'm going to be behind on reactions for at least a good another week. So please continue to bear with me as I navigate traveling, working, and everything in between. And I promise you my reactions to all of these shows will come up as soon as possible. And if you did go to Otakuthon this past week in Montreal, I hope you all had a wonderful time. In this reaction, we'll be reacting to the 4th episode of Love Live Superstar 2nd season. The title of this episode is The Two in the Science Room, which means this episode is going to be focused on Shiki and Mei. However, before we get to that, it is very important that we talk about last week's episode, and there's a couple comments that I want to make too, particularly in regards to a specific comment that I received on my videos. I don't get too many comments on my videos just yet, but obviously as I become more well known as a reactor, I do expect that to change, both for better and for worse, because the point of a reaction channel is to exchange dialogue, express my love for the shows I love, while also understanding that some of you may not agree with those dialogues. And this particular comment, I don't really know how this person feels about my channel or not really. So I want to start this reaction by taking us back to my previous reaction last week that I did with the 3rd episode and the absolutely ridiculous performance by Vienna Margaret, otherwise spelled out as Wien, W-I-E-N. Now I learned that that is because she is, her name is from Austria, which is translated to Vienna in Japanese, which is why, even though it's going to be spelled on screen as W-I-E-N, her pronunciation will be Vienna Margaret. So very interesting snippets here and there of learning what all that was about, and I'm very interested to learn more about her background as the season goes along. But with that said, I made some very vocal statements last episode. I did. I wasn't able to do a full live reaction because I had to get on the road shortly after, but I did do a final thoughts video in which I talked pretty much explicitly about how I felt about Miss Vienna Margaret. And in that I said that, and I quote, "She may be one of the biggest threats in the Love Live world, period. That we need to pull Muse and Aqua and Niji and everyone together. We need to pull everyone together. All the subunits, all the previous villains or antagonists or whatever you want to call them, rivals. We need to pull everybody together because this girl's going to be a problem." And I do not regret saying any of those words. I meant every last statement that I made last week. But there's a couple misunderstandings here that I believe some that may come across my Love Live videos may have. So I want to read this comment, and I'm going to put the comment up on screen. And if you're the one who wrote this comment, thank you so much. I do appreciate the comment because it gives me something to talk about in my following week's reaction. So if this was you, I appreciate it. I may not agree with everything that was said, but I do appreciate it. But I do want to read it, and I'm going to share the screenshot of it on screen. So the comment that came in 6 days ago on that video, it said, "Some interesting points you might want to know. Vienna's VA is a model. Vien is the strongest solo idol. You liking her song is a good thing to know, but you might notice that the animation purposely shows that her ability of dancing is real to the professional level, and surely not something Leela could surpass." And I'm going to comment on all of this once I'm done reading. 3. You might be shocked to know that this episode got the lowest rating in Japan and China among all the Love Live series ever. I think it's okay to have a preference, but you may have to pay a bit of attention to the writing of the script and character. Please don't forget that there are 2 seasons, so you can compare a bit and you may get the problem. So let's go ahead and stop. And well, let's start right there. I'm going to go backwards to forwards. Guys, I'm not stupid. I understand that a character like Vienna Margaret can obviously cause issues because we are all still recovering from a very specific character from the 3rd group of Love Live called Lanzu. And as you all know, she, and correct me if I'm wrong, but both in the East and the West, from all the talk I still hear, she still remains the most disliked person universally. Now, I will say, if you all watched the 2nd season of Dijigasaki, you will know that Lanzu's appearance and her personality and how the community perceives her improved tenfold. I mean, they did a tremendous job with writing her character for the anime in a way that would make people care about her more. And that even though she presented conflict, that conflict seemed more realistic with the plot that was going on. It didn't feel forced on us. It didn't feel overly aggressive. And it was received very well. Obviously, I can't speak too much on this comment about this being the lowest rating in Japan and China, primarily because in Japan, and please correct me if I'm wrong, there really isn't a rating system for shows in Japan. Normally, ratings in Japan are based off of viewership and how many households are viewing a specific show. So how I judge ratings is based off of how discussions in the forums are going. How discussions in the forums are going, both forums that are in English and in Japanese. I am a moderator for a few of these forums, as a matter of fact, and I gotta tell you, I'm not sure what you're talking about because in most of these cases, people were talking either very optimistically about the new girl, or they said even if it may not be their specific aesthetic, that at least they can appreciate her introduction. At least felt a whole lot more fluid than Lazu's introduction in the Love Live All Stars game. So again, I'm not going to go completely on record to say that the entire third statement is false. But I will have to look further into that. I actually asked one of my best friends who lives in Japan if they could take a look into how the ratings is doing for this show for me and send me some actual data, because I'm a data person. So if we're going to make statements like that, I got to see the data. So if I do see that the data proves that Japan and China rated this as the lowest episode in Love Live history, I will come back on a future reaction and I will completely apologize and say, you were right. But until I see the data showing otherwise, we're going to leave that up for grabs right now, and we're just going to move on. The second statement and the first statement I'll talk about combined. Vienna is a model. It seems there was very little information about who she is. I didn't know much about her at all, and I don't think really anyone did until she made her appearance. And I do want to put her up on the screen because I'm a facts-based person, so did my research here, and it does look like that her name is Yuna, and here is a picture of her seiyuu. She does appear to be a relatively new seiyuu as far as voice acting is concerned, but I also understand that she did model, and as a matter of fact, it looks like she was a Miss World contestant for Japan. So that seems to be one of the biggest ways that she's known to the community, particularly to those in East Asia, in Japan, in China, and other countries that are in East Asia. So to the voice actor world, and I'll, again, correct me if I'm wrong, if it comes to find out that she is not new and that she's been around for a while, I just ain't been paying attention. But it does appear that she's relatively new, so a big welcome to her. And she does appear to I think she does ballet, either in real life or it's in the anime. Actually, if you give me a moment, guys, because I kind of went trying to put all this together before I did this reaction because I wanted to respond to this comment as well as I possibly could, given the limited information that all of us have about her character. Let me see here. Yeah, so she is known to be a ballet dancer in the anime. I do not know too much about how that translates to real life, but it would not surprise me if her real life seiyuu shares similar personalities to her in anime character. So, very interesting stuff, and I look forward to learning more about her. I did follow her Twitter, and actually I will put her Twitter in this YouTube reaction or in this reaction wherever I post it at the end when I'm all said and done with editing. So please check her account out. Please give her a like and follow, and I'll be watching her from this point forward. So yes, the first statement is true. She is a model, and she did compete in Miss World for Japan. So that's awesome. The second statement, that Vienna is the strongest solo idol. And I do believe that. As a matter of fact, I completely agree with that, and that's why I made the statements I did. She showed on screen that she is a force to be reckoned with and is a problem. She is a problem, not just to this universe, but to all of the Love Live universes. And that's why I said that all the groups need to come together to deal with her, because this could really be problematic. Like, we might see Leela, not only might we see Leela fail a second time, we might see Sunny Ha fail also. So this could really be a problem. And so, yeah, I do completely believe, and actually I do generally agree with the statement that They show her as for her ability of dancing, being on a professional level, and again, I've already stated that that's pretty much what I said last week. That's why I said she's a problem. But one thing here, you may want to pay attention to the writing of the script and character. I am a very attentive person, and I ask that you not get caught up in my very overabundance of joy and seeing her performance on screen last week. That because when I do finish watching episodes and I finish reactions, I actually do go back rewatch episodes, and it'll be nice for you to know that if you're the one who wrote this, that I did rewatch season 1 the month before the second season started. I generally, with the Love Live franchise, I will always tend to rewatch seasons multiple times. So yeah, and regardless of rewatches or anything, I still completely hold to my statements that I made. So, but yeah, I just wanted to respond to that. And please, guys, I would love to have more dialogue. So please, if there's something I said that you don't agree with, if you're the one who wrote that, please respond back. I greatly would appreciate it. I love the dialogue. I want the dialogue. I may not always agree with what is stated, but I will never suppress comments or anything like that. And I do appreciate the dialogue. So yeah, with that said, enough talk about that. You guys pretty much have a gauge, regardless, for any of you that are watching this reaction and have no idea about that comment or any of the other aspects of the character Seiyu or the model or this and that. Last week's episode had a lot of people talking. And for most cases, it was for good reasons. Yes, there are some that I know did not like her character presentation. But for myself, for a good friend that was here, and for a very big chunk of the community last week, they loved the hell out of her introduction, and we want more, and we crave more, and I need more. However, that more won't come this episode, because this episode is going to be focused on Mei and Shiki, which is perfectly fine, because we still have 3 other girls that actually have to join. So yeah, with that said, thanks a lot for listening to the dialogue. If you listen to the entire dialogue, I really do appreciate it. Please, if you have any opinions about anything and you'd like to talk about it in the comments section, or if you have a question you'd like me to respond with the next reaction, please do not hesitate. Drop your comment. Be respectful to everybody. Again, we all might have different opinions on certain things, and in the Love Live universe, there tends to be controversy here and there. But please be respectful, but feel free to ask away, and I'll be more than happy to answer the question if it is something that I can answer. So with that said, we're going to go ahead. Enough talking. We're going to get it started. And one other thing I do want to talk about now. There is one more thing I want to talk about, and that is how the Mal rating for the show is doing. Now, I know that East Asia does not care about Mal. That's why when I use the Mal ratings, I always take it with a grain of salt, because I know that that is something solely more prevalent to the West than the East. But it's important to talk about the Mal rating, because as you can see on the screen, again, if it was the worst episode, when I left for the con last week, the Superstar anime was sitting, I think, 0.10 points lower than it is this week. I come back, it's at an 8.16. As a matter of fact, Love Live Superstar second season is slowly starting to creep up to my top show of the year, just from a rating standpoint, which is Made in Abyss. And yes, this is an idol show, and that's Made in Abyss. Those are 2 completely different shows, but let's be very clear here. If it was unpopular, not a single one of those people actually voted in this. And I know that most people in Japan and Asia would not vote in this, but I do also know that there are a lot of people who do cast their votes from those regions also in Mal. So I can't completely say that that's 100% true or not true. All I can say is, regardless of every statement we've made, Love Live Superstar second season is doing an absolutely phenomenal job. So, that out of the way, thanks for listening. We're going to go ahead and kick the episode off. I've talked a lot and I need some water. So I'm going to go get some water in action. And after I drink some water, we will start this reaction off. Alright, and I'm back. So again, the title of the episode is The Two in the Science Room. And for the last time, this episode will almost exclusively focus on Shiki and Mei. So let's go ahead and get this episode started in 3, 2, 1. Because she came and slayed on that stage. That's right, I skipped the fact that she straight just walked over and said, yep, I had nothing to worry about. And just like Batman, gone in the shadows. Yeah, they had a great performance too. Just join. Oh my god, my girl, just join. Hey, at least they're saying they'll think about it now. Aww. She's like, sure. And I do want to say, guys, too, that putting aside Vienna's crazy performance, again, Leila had a great six-member performance at the end of the episode. I really did like the song, and I think Hinako did a wonderful job. She really did. Her voice sounds really good, and for the little bit of time that she's had to get up to Leila standards, I think it was a really, really great song. And I also did download the song too. So I know y'all have heard me almost exclusively talk about Vienna Margaret, but do not think for a second that I did not like the other song, because I really, really did. Indeed. Bruh. Bruh. She is the president, that's why. This is true. Oh, look at just go ahead and join my girl. Bruh, they got the whole audio set up and everything. You just noticed? You know you are not being truthful, my girl. Actually, that's the best facial expressions. Yo, my girl has everything prepared. Oh, she's trying to stay for her too. Yeah, I don't think it's that at all. I think it's just a lot got sprung on her at the last minute. And she's still reeling from what happened at that competition. A competition that y'all hosted. She's really trying to look out for me. She really is. Ah! Yo, she did that. No, she did that intentionally. You have been bamboozled. Oh. Oh. Oh, I knew she's gonna join first and force her girl over. I was wondering which of the two was gonna budge first. Simple formations. We're throwing out a whole bunch of 8 counts and going straight into a live in like 5 minutes. Yo, she is egging her on. Greetings, young one. Damn, she sure didn't answer the question. And you already know once Cuckoo gets a fixation, there ain't nothing you can do. Um, what the heck? Yo, what's really going on with you two? You can tell there's really something deep between those two. The legendary Idol legend. Oh my goodness. Dang, so May is super, super, super Idol fan. It's May. Really? Really? How? Oh, okay. She can't. Um, that would be a simple explanation. I can see that. Oh, so they're just complicated in general. Oh, she really did soften her up. She has a lot of anger issues too, so. But that's because of, I guess, just her basic communication issues. Because groups can be that way. Peer pressure is something else. Something that I wasn't affected by. I'm sure that's part of it, but maybe not 100% true. Mm. I mean, that's not true. Just giving her. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. say let it ride for now. Yeah, Cuckoo's already Yeah, she's already fixated on getting her in there now. But right now, you kind of have to let things just kind of go with the flow. What are they gonna try? Oh? Hold on, seriously? Okay. I can see that though. That's fine. And she's also responsible, so that's fine. Alright, so Kanan chose not to be president and leave it to Chisato, which is another good selection. But that will leave her so that she can deal with her. Just sit down, my girl. Girl, you was cute. Calm down. She did not mean that. Exactly. You know that was a damn lie. Yo, in the freaking science attire, I swear. Ain't you just fabulous? Oh, that face. Oh. Oh. A lot. A lot. Oh, man. No. Y'all gotta get used to those two. Freaking Super and Cuckoo, I swear. All right. And the 8th member of the Ayla is born now. Now the one that I just don't know how I'm going to feel about is the one left. And of course, Natsumi would be last. And as I've already expressed in previous episodes that I'm not 100% feeling her just yet. We'll see how it goes once they start her side of things. But Mei and Shiki are absolutely adorable. And obviously they've been the best of friends to each other for a long time now. So I'm glad they were able to overcome that hurdle. Money makes the world go round. Oh, Lord, and here go this child that I do not know how I'm going to feel about her. Lord, have mercy. All right, so in this episode, we handled the Mei and Shiki thing, and I think it was done very well. Obviously being two loners tend to kind of navigate to other loners. I think that's kind of just the natural way of the world, and both Shiki and Mei had their own weirdness and personality traits that, like, what Kanan said, while, it may be that they are very different, they are actually very much the same people. And Shiki was really feeling bad and really was feeling like she was dragging Mei down from the things that she wanted to pursue. Of course, seeing all the stuff in Mei's room, that pretty much was a tall tale of why Shiki said the things she said, because she knew what she wanted to pursue and she didn't want to hold her back. But, I will say Shiki's motivation for being an idol, I still do believe it obviously has a strong thing to do with Mei joining. So I don't know if, I'm 100% like, yeah, sure, Shiki has been interested for as long as she has too. There's no way I can 100% say that yet, since we only got that couple minutes before they resolved their thing and then they joined together. But I will say that they truly do bring out the best in each other. It was nice getting to see their backstory a bit, seeing them grow, seeing the conflict that they had, and being able to come to a resolution of some sorts. And I'm sure that there are going to be other issues as we go about later on, and obviously what people are interested in here and there. But I think that it's been well done, and I think that that was really the only way that they could bring Mei and Shiki in. They were going to have to be bought in together. I think we all knew they were going to be bought in together, and that is now where we are at. So we now are at an 8-member Liela, with the only remaining member for this season being Natsumi. And so the last comment I want to say before I wrap up this longer than normal video, primarily because I talked a lot at the start of the video, has to do with the expansion of the group again. And first off, I got a good friend of mine that I never expected to watch Love Live, to finally watch Love Live. While I was away at Otakuthon, my friend finally caved because of the Vienna Margaret presentation, and she watched Superstar. She watched the first season and she caught up to the second season. And one of the comments that she made, is being someone that's not as deeply into the Love Live side of things as I am. She was a person that was into like Utapri and things and shows like that. But from the female side of things, hadn't really gotten into it. So obviously with Love Live, there were questions that were being asked of me. And one of the big questions is, of course, the question that many of you have asked is, with a group pursuing such a pinnacle performance, such a pinnacle award as Love Live, even if all 9 end up having great chemistry with each other, why risk it when you are so close? You're right there, and now you're bringing in 4 new dynamics. And it's a good question. And again, I will say this much. I was worried about chemistry, and then I was worried about how the voices would mesh together. The chemistry is not a concern anymore. I think that things are going to go very well from a chemistry standpoint as they eventually become a 9-member group and learn how to practice and perform with one another. So really what I think it is just being 9 on stage, and from an anime story point, from a story standpoint with the anime, you bring in a factor that could derail your abilities to be able to win Love Live. And I acknowledge that. Many of us watch Love Live not really for overly over-the-top sophisticated stories. We know that conflicts in the Love Live universe compared to things like Idolmaster, Idly Pride, things like that, we know that conflict in the Love Live universe will be relatively resolved easily. Or if it's not resolved easily, it will be resolved in a way where it won't really drag longer than 2 episodes, compared to some shows where conflicts can drag the entire show depending on the nature of the conflict. And that's just is not what happens in Love Live. Me and you, we all of us who've been at this Love Live radio for as long as the franchise has existed, we know full well that that's just not something that's going to happen. With that said, though, it is a valid concern to be brought up. Muse, they were 9 for the duration of their time competing and performing. Aqua, after they gained their group initially, they stayed that for the duration of their life. Nijigasaki is a different beast because they were built and designed to be individuals. So they could be 12, 15, 20. It doesn't really matter because Niji was built on individualism equaling success while still being able to mesh together and be a great performing unit when they need to. So because of that dynamic, it works in the Nijigasaki universe, and you can continue to add members no matter what. This is the first time in franchise history that we have made it to a second season and we are actually introducing new characters. That has never happened before in Love Live. So as a result of that, the question that my friend asked is a valid one, or really more of a statement. Well, no, it's a question. Why bring in this unknown element that could inevitably cause you issues down the road? You've gotten the chemistry down with a 5-member group. You got this close to being able to top Sunny Pa. You now realize that you have an incredibly tough competitor that is also going to be competing against Sunny Pa now, called Vienna Margaret. And now you are adding girls that, while they are great and cute and their voices are fine, just from a story writing standpoint, you've now brought in people who have no experience with what y'all have experience with doing now. And it could take an entire school year to get them up to par with where they need to be. And it just, in my friend's eye, does not seem like it's a risk that you should take when you're that close. And again, from a realistic standpoint, I agree. But this is Love Live, and so we know that these type of things are just kind of bought in. And while the story makes somewhat cohesive sense, it's still a question that has to be asked. And it's just, I remind everyone to just remember that we have a very different dynamic happening with Superstar right now, for better or worse. That right now, I think it's working. but we got to see what's going to happen with Natsumi before I can really start making comments on the 9-member group. So, a lot of dialogue, a lot of talking this episode. Thank you so much if you actually listened through this entire reaction. I really do appreciate it. I actually looked at the listen time on my other video, and you guys actually almost listened through the entire last couple of episodes, including my final thoughts video. So very big thank you for y'all listening. Again, as I said at the beginning of the video, if you have any questions or comments, anything you want to correct me on, something I might have accidentally referenced, do not hesitate to make that correction in the comments, and I will either respond in the comments or I will respond to you by video in my next reaction. So that wraps up this reaction video. I hope you liked it. If you did like the video and like the episode, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. And if you want to be one of the first to be notified when a new reaction becomes available, hit the bell icon. I will be back on track with this show next week. Actually, I am releasing it on time because it comes out on Tuesdays, unfortunately for all of us in America and the West. So yeah, sucks to be us. But I will have the next reaction up either Monday evening or by no later than Tuesday of next week. And until that next episode drops, catch you later.